I talk about values on a regular basis. It's something that I believe is a keystone to having a great business. Often people ask me why I'm so consumed with values, and the answer I might give will surprise you, and it's the topic of today's video. Hey, I'm Josh Patrick, the founder of Stage 2 Planning Partners and the Sustainable Business. I'm also the one who's responsible for putting together our Cracking the Cash Flow Code program, and I'm the author of Sustainable, a fable about creating a personally and economically sustainable business. So let's dive into today's topic. Values by themselves are not worth a whole heck of a lot unless we have a clarifying statement around it. So let me give you an example of what I mean by that. Let's say I have a value of personal responsibility, which is one of my core values that I really like. So when I say personal responsibility, you may or may not understand what I'm talking about. But if I say here, personal responsibility means we don't blame and we don't justify our behavior. Now, when I say that to you, you're going to have a pretty clear idea about what I mean when I talk about the idea of personal responsibility. So, one of the uses I see of having values with a clarifying statement around it is to use it as a coaching tool. Now, most people think about values as something that you have and you stick on a wall, and occasionally you talk about it. But if you're not using your values on a day-to-day basis, you're wasting a huge opportunity. So let me tell you a story. I call it the Tanya story. And it actually was true. It happened in my food service company. When I was in the food service business, we were making 8,000 to 14,000 pieces of food a week. And I would go into our commissary and kind of look around, see what was going on. And one day I walked into the commissary. And there over on the side was somebody making the worst set of sandwiches I had ever seen. So I went over and I talked to her and I walked over and I was really pretty angry about it at that time. And that was back in the days when I would blame people on a regular basis and I wasn't being very personally responsible. But this taught me what being personally responsible means. So I go over and I started talking with Tanya. I said, Tanya, what's up with these sandwiches? And she kind of looked at me and studying my feet, shrugs her shoulders and doesn't say much. So I said, really, Tanya, what's up with those sandwiches? So she kind of looks at me and says, well, we have to make them fast. And I looked back at Tanya and said, really? So then I said, Tanya, what's up with the sandwiches? And she looks over at the manager and says, she made me do it this way. She told me to go really fast. So I looked at her and said, Tanya, really? Did she come over here and is she looking over your shoulder, making sure you make these sandwiches? And Tanya said, no. So I said, okay, Tanya, so really, what's up with this? Instead of me yelling at Tanya, I decided to ask her a bunch of questions, which means I was forcing her to be personally responsible along the way. So I said to Tanya once again, I said, Tanya, what's up with these sandwiches? And she looks at me and says, you made me do it. And I said, what? I just walked in here from the office and you're telling me I made these sandwiches that way? And I said, one more time, Tanya, let's try it again. So all this time now, Tanya was studying my feet. And when I asked her the third time, she slowly looked up from my feet, looked at me in the face, her shoulders went back, and she said, well, I guess it's my fault. And she was fully expecting me to fire her. But instead, what I did was, I said, okay, Tanya, I guess we have to throw these away. Now what are you going to do? She said, well, I'm going to make these sandwiches right, and I make the sandwiches the way they should be made, and you're going to be proud of me when I do it. So that's what happens when you ask questions and you use your values as a teaching tool. Now, I did this by mistake. And as a result of doing this by mistake, I learned something. And since that time, I've been using values as a teaching tool with the people I work with. because it's the only way to get people to hold the values in your company. So here's something else that using values with clarifying statements allows me to do. It allows me to talk about appropriate behavior in a neutral manner. In other words, if I'm talking about values, I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about how the values fit in with you, and are you doing the things that are appropriate for us in our company? This is really important for you. I don't want you to just set a bunch of values with clarifying statements, stick them on a wall someplace, and never refer to them. If you're doing that, you're missing a huge opportunity to make your company into something that's truly a values-led organization. And values are the living description of what your company is and what its belief systems is. Isn't that something that you want to have with your customers? Don't you want your customers to understand what your values are? Don't you want to have your employees know what the values are, how they fit in, and how they make your clients' lives better? At least I would if I could. Now here's something about values. You're going to offend some people because you're being very clear about what your values are. That's okay. Those are people you don't want to do business with anyway. The truth is, everybody is not the right client or the right customer for your business. Just some people are, and when you use values in a clarifying manner with clarifying statements, you're going to find that the right people start being attracted to your business. So thanks for stopping by. Why don't you scroll down, leave a comment, and while you're at it, download our free ebook on how to hire for unique abilities. You're going to see how values fit in with the hiring process, and it's another key for having a great company. So thanks a lot. I hope to see you back here really soon.